Well, well, well. The sometimes love is more powerful than death.
I would rather choose for this movie to never exist. Freaking die where it
I,
stands
I'm
than
just
ever.
curious. Speaking from my experience as someone who has never seen Crow 4, which I'm just to brace me for
Four's worse. I'm
really.
not gonna beat around the
Okay.
bush. Four's worse.
Hello,
Four's worse.
everyone. Welcome to the Buttery Show, where we discuss movies, video games, and other pop culture media, except for tokusatsu, because we have a separate channel for that. Uh, but speaking of superheroes with special effects, January is Crow Month. And much like how last week we did the original Crow 1994 with Brandon Lee, we're doing the sequel, more or less, The Crow City of Angels from 1996. And it features new cast members, only one returning character for better or for worse, and oddly enough, Iggy Pop and Thuy Trang. Hold on.
Look, rest in peace to Tweet.
Yeah, in loving memory. Eric Betts had nothing but good things to say about her, and I'll take his word for it.
I would if I had to fight Chronicles in Mortal Kombat and change anything in time, recast Tweet Train so that way this movie is not part of her filmography, and put like Tia Carrara in for her.
Honestly, I don't as much have an issue with Thuy Trang being in this movie as much as I have an issue with this being her final film.
That's why Fight Chronica will her take this out, set the hourglass time, recast Tweet Train, and put Tia Carrara. She'll be the sacrificial lamb for this.
Mm.
Hell no, bro. God.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Crow City of Angels is a 1996 superhero film directed by Tim Pope and with the screenplay written by David S. Goyer. It is, as I said, more or less a sequel to 1994. I wish it wasn't, if I'm being honest. I'd rather be standalone like Salvation and the upcoming one that I'm not going to talk about for reasons. And yeah, it was released in August 30th, distributed by Miramax, produced by Dimension Films. And it doesn't say what the budget was, but its box office was 25.3 million. So, yeah. Yeah, no, its Canadian box office grossing was 9 million during its opening weekend, and its final US and Canadian gross was 17.9 million. It has, well, let's just say abysmal scores on Rotten Tomatoes with 14% approval rating based on 37 reviews. I'm not going to go into the math of which 1 in 6 people, give or take, liked it. But yeah, it didn't really have any awards or accolades, not even a Raspy. So I'm going to be real with you. If I didn't I could have just watched the original Crow and Crow Salvation and just not know this movie existed, if not for the fact that Thuy Trang was even in this movie.
Here's the thing. I don't have much to say about this movie. People, I don't like this. Don't get me wrong. Wicked Prayer is worse. I don't have a lot to say about this movie. It is so fun. I fell asleep watching this movie 7 times. I literally had to watch this movie in increments to not fall asleep.
Mm,
That's how bad it is.
that's
Only
crazy.
movie that I have ever fallen asleep on. How bad it
So, if you don't mind me asking,
was.
what was your first time watching this movie?
I was 12.
Mm.
This is 2007. I tried. I thought it was good. Being at 12, I could it's trash. But that's just me. What about you?
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. And this is gonna like I know I'm gonna bring up Salvation a lot through this review. But let's just say I saw Salvation before I saw this movie. Like I knew the Brandon Lee movie. Look, my first exposure was Mark Dacascos in the TV show. Then I found out, oh, there's a Crow movie. I want to check that out. Turns out the movie existed before the TV show. Kind of like Ghostbusters versus Extreme Ghostbusters. I saw Extreme Ghostbusters first, found out that there was a Ghostbusters movie, watched. I'm like, where's Kylie? Um. Anyway, so yeah, no, I saw the first one, found out that there was a sequel, and so I watched Crow Salvation. It's one of those times where like you have a free weekend of HBO when you have Direct TV. So I'm like, whoa, Crow Salvation! I didn't know they made more Crow movies. I checked it out, Crow Salvation. I kind of liked it. It wasn't as good as the original, but I kind of liked it. But I wanted to like revisit that movie at some point later on, like during college, and I'm like, wait, Salvation was the third movie? Then what was the second movie? And then I find out, whoa, Thuy Trang is in the second one? I gotta check this out. I did. I regretted it. And like, and this is no hate to Thuy. Honestly, she was one of the better parts of the movie, and that's not saying much. But it's just boring. Aside from like one or two scenes, this movie is obscenely boring. When you compare it to like every scene in the original Crow and even Salvation, it's like every scene has something interesting going on. Even if nothing's happening, even if you have a scene where it's like it's just Brandon Lee brooding, it's still more interesting than like 85% of the scenes in this movie. And you know what really hurts me the most? A lot of the settings actually look really good. Like the Dia de los Muertos party towards the end of the film, that looked good. Like that looked like a good scene. The part where he crashes into those flowers, that looked good. Like, why can't all? But it's like the rest of the movie, it's the same generic warehouse scenes. Yeah. Yeah. So Ashe Corven is the main character. I know a lot of people want to be thinking like, why isn't Eric Draven the main character aside from Brandon Lee's tragic death? Well, like you could say, well, they could have recasted him, but here's the thing though. Eric already moved on. Like he completed his mission, he avenged Shelley. He has no reason to stay on Earth. But here's the thing, and Obar actually discussed this in the past. The crow is not a person; it is a symbol. And every generation, there's always a new crow. Crow is kind of like a grunge version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if you really think about it.
I would say like Zorro. Zorro.
Mm, See, the thing is, the generational aspect of Zorro didn't really happen until the '90s film with Antonio Banderas, because all Zorro-related media was always Diego de la Vega. And yeah, Anthony Hopkins played him in that '90s movie. But all other past iterations of Zorro have always been Diego. Like it has never been a different character or a baton pass. And even like if you like study the mythology of Zorro, he obtained his Zorro powers, which aren't really powers. He just got inspired by like you're meeting a shaman after his dad was like either killed or poisoned, depending on which version you watch. And so like his spirit animal is a silver or black fox, so he dons the Zorro persona because Zorro means fox in Spanish. But it's always been Diego, just like how Bruce Wayne has always been Batman. But the thing is, like Zorro became a baton pass, just like Batman became a baton pass, and even the Crow became a baton pass. But the thing is, the Crow was always a baton pass, while Zorro didn't become a baton pass until like the '90s movie with Anthony Hopkins. And don't get me wrong, the movie was good. It was a good movie. I'm just saying, like, this is where I would disagree with you on the whole Zorro thing. But yeah, no, like once in a generation, just like in Mortal Kombat, there's always like a person who's been wrongly murdered, and he was killed with his loved one. So a terrible sadness is carried with the soul when it is taken by a crow. So the crow brings that soul back to the land of the living in order to right things wrong, but things can never be right until we are reunited. But they decided to take a different approach with this one, as opposed to the original, where the main character was murdered with his significant other. Here, the main character was murdered with his son instead. What are your thoughts on that alteration?
Before you get to that, I want to talk about this goddamn director. Okay, Tim Pope is the unfortunate soul who was tasked of making a sequel to a classic known as The Crow. And you're probably wondering, oh, what other movies did he work on, right? This man mostly directed music videos. And if I am looking at his filmography correctly, City of Angels is the only movie he ever directed. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, people. The last time I saw this, Mike, are you in any way informed about this movie called Belly with Nas DMX?
I haven't seen a lot of movies with DMX, so no.
So, Hype Williams. Have you ever heard of the music video director Hype Williams?
Okay.
This Belly was the first movie he ever directed, and it was the last. Now, in the black community, Belly is a very influential movie for the first 5 minutes. It's a straight up DMX Nas music video of them going in, storming the club, shooting the owner, grabbing the money they were owed. Okay, the rest of the movie just goes downhill. City of Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something about City of Angels. City of Angels is, if you didn't like grunge music, if you were a fan of grunge music in the 90s, but for whatever reason you like The Crow, everything you did not like about grunge music and grunge music videos is saturated in this god-forsaken movie. Now, having said that, the dynamic of them killing the main character and his child. So coming from someone who is a father, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty jacked up. It's interesting though, and there a lot could have been done with this plot device.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a taboo that a lot of films, especially revenge films, what's up, baby? Oh, even my fiance says hi. You can't see her, but she said hi, and Mike said hi to you too. And she thinks you were a good answer for that. Anyways, so um, coming from someone who's now a dad, the whole idea of a guy trying to take revenge because both him and his son were killed, it's interesting, and it's a taboo. It's a taboo that not a lot of American. And I'm talking all hemispheres of America, North America, which is us, and then Canada, don't really touch on. I actually like that. I like that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just takes a swanton dive down.
I feel like aside from the Kali fight, which we'll get to,
Yeah,
they absolutely did not touch up on the fact that his son died at all. Well, okay,
no,
maybe there was also the
brushed
scene
over.
where he collapses onto that bed of flowers. Okay, I get it. You have to have the obligatory "I lost my powers and I need to be motivated for one last fight" scene, which happens in every Crow movie. Let's be honest. But aside from that one obligatory scene, they really never touch up on that. Like throughout the original Crow, they put a lot of emphasis on the fact that these characters murdered Shelley in Crow Salvation, which, by the way, I can't wait to discuss. Like, the main character doesn't just try to avenge Lauren; he even tries to prove who really killed her. Because the reason why and I'm going to spoil the movie a little bit for those of you who haven't seen it. The reason why Alex dies isn't because he got killed by a bunch of gang members. No, he was executed on an electric chair because he was falsely accused of killing Lauren.
Really?
Yeah, and so when he came back to life, part of his mission isn't just to avenge her, but also to prove his own innocence. To prove that to prove who really killed Lauren, and that's a really interesting angle. I can't wait to really go into when we do Salvation. But again, I can't speak on Wicked Prayer because again, I've never seen that one. But heck, I can't talk about it. But the point is here. What's his name? Nathan is almost never brought up in the entire film, except literally the part where he fights Thuy Trang. And
we're gonna keep eating that up because, like I said, now it's been a while since last time I checked. When I saw this movie a couple of days ago, Thuy Trang was one of the headlining names on this movie. Am I correct?
I wouldn't say she's the most headlining, but her name does appear in the opening credits, along with Iggy Pop. And we may as well get right into it.
Yeah.
So some of the villains in this one are Thuy Trang and Iggy Pop as Kali and Swerve, which are two of the generals of the main villain, which is Judah Earl, played by Richard Brooks. Richard Brooks. He's been in a few roles, mostly single episode roles. He was in the main cast of Rich and Ruthless, and he was a recurring character on Bosch and New Good Trouble. And no, it's not a reference to John Young Bosch. I just want to be perfectly clear. But no, it's a police procedural series. And he was in other stuff for single episodes, stuff like Hill Street Blues, ER, Chicago Hope, Diagnosis Murder, NYPD Blue, Renegade. Basically, he's like, if there's a police procedural, he was probably in it. Oh, and one episode of Firefly.
Oh, Richard Brooks. Oh no, you forgot one thing. He was also in The Flash. He played he played Gregory Wolf with the Warden. But he was only in like one episode. He was also in a recent episode of Abbott Height Elementary, and it's actually a pretty good show. Good show. You have to check it out.
It was in one episode of that. Yeah, I heard fantastic things about Abbott Elementary.
From what everyone has told me, if you are a teacher, elementary, middle school, or high school, this is the show for you.
Yeah,
but I guess.
Yeah. And of course, you have like other villains like Sybil, who's a psychic, and you got Nemo and Spider Monkey. They're not really important because. But yeah, no. What I actually found it really interesting that Swerve was played by Iggy Pop of all people. But to be fair, Lucky from King of the Hill was played by Tom Petty, so yeah. But no, like Iggy Pop, he played his role in a pretty fun way. I'm not gonna lie though. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the villains in this one?
One word: forgettable. Like what made the villains in the original Crow movie well remembered is that it's not just the actors. I mean, granted, this City Angels has some well known names like Thomas Jane, like Vincent Castellanos, Richard Brooks, Thuy Trang. It does have some very well known names to it. The problem is that
well-known names are not enough.
Yeah, well-known names are not enough. Now with the Crow also had some well-known names, especially those that stuck around and act like Homeboy played Top Dollar. But like you know, I remember Tintin, I remember Fun Boy, I remember T-Bird and Skank.
Oh, absolutely.
Top Dollar. And his stepsister. I'm gonna keep saying stepsister because you weren't telling me that this white boy and this Asian chick are supposed to be brother and sister, unless they're
could be, but still, as one of our friends who's currently watching the show right now would say, "Sweet home Alabama."
Step brother, I need your help.
Step brother, can you play old Bammy?
That's not the point, though. I don't remember these characters, except and the only reason why I remember Thuy Trang is again, she was in Power Rangers. Thomas Jane. I completely forgot this fool was even in the movie. Iggy Pop, you know more about Iggy Pop than I do, so he's a well-known name to you. I don't really know too much about Iggy Pop.
Yeah, honestly, like Iggy Pop. Like Swerve could have first of all, as far as just the ability to play the character, I think Iggy Pop was good casting as far as playing Swerve goes. But as far as writing Swerve goes, I think a big issue is like they build him up to be like such a big character, like as a villain. Like he's supposed to be like the number 2 guy to Judah, but like he dies like a punk. It's like you could say like, well, you know, Kali, like she at least had like a semi-epic fight scene with a death that did not age well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no.
But so you'd think, you know, Swerve being higher up than, if not equal to Kali, like he would be like his confrontation would have more weight to it. There would be more work put into it, and his death would be more satisfying. But no, he just dies like a punk in an underpass. It's like at that point, You may as well make Thuy Trang the number 2 character and make Swerve the number 3 character.
Here's okay,
and then switch the order in which you kill them.
Here's my thing. Why aren't we talking about the fact that they brought Sarah back?
Yeah, we're about to get to that. So much like how in every movie you need to have a human character to be an anchor, in the previous movie we had Sarah. In this movie we have I have to sigh at this. This movie we have Sarah. Yeah, it's the same character from the first movie, just all grown up, and no hate to the actress, but I hate the way she is written here. And especially with one very specific scene. There's like one very specific scene that she's in that makes me hate this movie the most. And like, it's not even the fact that Sarah dies at the end of the movie, because it's like,
Spoilers, by the way.
Whatever. It's whatever. I mean, the movie is, a little under 30 years old, so it's not that big of a spoiler. Actually, let me just try to recollect when exactly. Oh, August 30th. Never mind.
1996.
Yeah, so it's like in the ballpark of 28 years. So it's not that big of a spoiler, and it is assumed that people might have at least seen a little bit of this movie. They want to hear us talk about it. It's not like we're summarizing it, but no, like, I don't have an issue with Sarah dying because, like, let's be honest, killing off legacy characters is par for the course in Hollywood films, even way before Disney bought out Star Wars. And the reason why I bring that up is because, like, Disney Star Wars gets so much flack for, like, killing off legacy characters. But I'm like, while I agree, like, they did low-key disrespect legacy characters, this isn't new for Hollywood. Like that's the one like counter argument I would make. No, like, killing off legacy characters has been par for the course in Hollywood for a long time, not just recently. I mean, heck, are we gonna pretend that Jean Grey was not a thing in X-Men 2 and 3 and 6?
Why would you bring this movie up? Just why? Why?
I'm just giving examples of legacy characters being killed off. Before 2015. That's all I'm saying.
See, you didn't have an issue with Sarah dying. My whole issue is this.
Look, would I prefer she didn't die? Of course, it's Sarah. But I'm just saying that there are much worse scenes involving her.
Here's my I understand that. Here's my thing. You set this movie up. So first of all, you want to know, because we're talking about this, is that Sarah has moved to Los Angeles. This movie, if she's roughly in her 20s, give or take, she was like what, 13 in the original movie. So now she's like what, 23, 24. And this is futuristic Los Angeles. It's supposed to be
a post-apocalyptic future version of Los Angeles, and just like any other post-apocalyptic version of Los Angeles, there's trash everywhere. The sky is yellow, and if you're a Futurama fan,
Los Angeles. Apparently, it's not Los Angeles. It might be filmed somewhere in Canada, but I digress.
Yeah, but the setting is Los Angeles.
Yeah, listen. Let me tell you something. You and I have both been living in Los Angeles for over 30, at this point, 30 years. Half the shit we saw in that movie, that ain't Los Angeles. That was either Toronto or freaking Alberta. Or Vancouver. No.
Or maybe it's another city in SoCal.
Nah. Don't give this movie too much credit. Don't give this movie too much credit, Mike.
I'm not trying to give it any credit. I'm just saying, like it could be a city in California, just not Los Angeles. Because like, let's be honest, even the jankiest parts of LA are nowhere near as this level of janky. Like,
Anyways,
we've been to Skid Row. Like, we've been to Skid Row.
yeah, we're like, hey, listen, if you don't show Los Angeles post-apocalyptic, you got to show Los Angeles post-apocalyptic. Skid Row, it should be obliterated, but there's never a mention of Skid Row. I digress.
Even what's it called? Even Scanner Darkly, which we reviewed, by the way, in the past, had post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, and even that not look this bad.
But no, so you're telling me
on Substance D. Actually, people are on Substance D in this movie too. But
so you're telling me that 10 years after this life-changing moment for Sarah, where her best friend, well, I wouldn't say her, but two people that
her mom and dad figure. Let's be honest, they're practically her parents.
Yes, died. Her father figure came back from the dead to avenge his mother figure's death and right the wrongs that happened. You mean to tell me 10 years later that her life didn't turn around, that she decided to come to post-apocalyptic Los Angeles to be a tattoo artist?
Of all things.
Of all
not
things.
Not a skateboarder or even like a graffiti artist.
Like, if like an artist in general, fine. And this is no disrespect to tattoo artists or anything like that. And by no means.
It just doesn't feel like something that her character would do based on the first movie.
Exactly. And then you're telling me that like because her whole thing with crows, she knows that the crow is going to this fool Alex's site to bring him back, and he's gonna be, and obviously yes, he's in denial when Sarah was like, "Yo, you're dead. I don't know how long you've been dead, but you kind of just came back to life." And we see this these ridiculous ass flashbacks in different shades of color.
And like you can't, like, with that in mind, you can't give JoJo's Bizarre Adventure crap for doing those color changes in like scenes of intensity.
Oh no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, but because I know there's like people out there who are like, why are the colors changing? Like, first, like, things were normal, but then like everything's red, and then like everything's brown. What's going on? Now everything's green. What's going on? Like, why are there so many color changes? It's like, it's to highlight moments of incredible intensity. But even then, even JoJo's Bizarre Adventure didn't do color changes like that, like they do here.
The oversaturation, every single one of these flashback scenes, honestly gave me a freaking headache.
And that's
I'm not even
no,
so,
it's crazy. Yeah.
So they bring this fool back, and obviously he goes after the fools that killed him and his son. Funny enough, who was the kid who in the flashback? Who was the fool who's recorded? So
that was Nemo. Nemo was the one that recorded everything. He has like an obsession with recording stuff, especially like torture type of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so for those that want to know, Alex and his son are killed.
Ashe.
No, not Alex. Ashe. Ashe and his
Alex
son.
is the one in the next movie.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Ashe and his son are killed by Judah and his crew because Ashe had witnessed a murder.
Yeah.
And so they take them out to the docks. These docks that I personally have never seen before in my whole freaking life, living in Los Angeles. It's not in Torrance. It's not around Redondo Beach. It's not around Marina Del Rey. It's not around Long Beach, the Long Beach ports. It's not around the Santa Monica Pier. And even if it was at the Santa Monica Pier, there's a big-ass restaurant covering that, the end of the docks. I have never seen these docks before, and they kill both of them, gangland style, and throw their asses into their watery grave. So goes after each and every one of these fools. So who was the first person he went after? It wasn't Iggy Pop.
Spider Monkey.
It's Spider Monkey.
Iggy Monkey. And oh yeah, and also like they're selling drugs and stuff. So like assume the running joke we had about Scanner Darkly. They're putting substance D in our drinking water.
They're trying to freaking So Ash goes to Spider Monkey, figures out each and every one of the people that killed him, and he sets his ass on fire and blows up the warehouse in the most ridiculous looking, terrible green screen effect I have seen. And I've watched a lot of 90s indie films. Keep in mind, this movie is supposed to be the big sequel to the original Crow movie, and the original Crow movie even had a low budget. Let me look. Like, how much the first Crow movie cost? Let me see again. The first Crow movie cost $23 million.
And that is the box office of this movie. Let that sink in.
How the hell were you able? You made this movie. The first movie was made with a $23 million budget. This sequel got back almost the exact same money that it cost to make this film. I'm honestly curious on how much this will freaking cost. Hold up. Keep talking. Keep going.
I checked the wiki. Like it doesn't show on the wiki. I wish it did though. Like you're gonna have to find some other kind of primary source to like cite that. But I can't even do like a starting scan on Wikipedia like you normally could with other movies. It's like it's that limited in information. But no, I agree. Okay, here's one of my issues with Ashe Corven as a character. And I say this like including Bill Skarsgård, which I'm not going to go into detail. But even including Bill Skarsgård and Brandon Lee and Mark Dacascos and the dude who played Alex, basically everyone except for Eddie Furlong, because again, I can't assume anything about Eddie Furlong. Out of the five out of 6 crows that I have witnessed, this one is the most unhinged performance I have ever seen. Half the time he is just hamming it up. Other times he's doing stuff that make me wonder, like, why are you doing that? But I will say this: if they wrote this movie better, one particular quirk in this film I would have had more appreciation for, and that is the fact that Ash likes to do sleight of hand tricks. Like he likes to make cards disappear. He likes to make coins reappear behind a person's ear. And like I know that's a thing you like to do too. Like if anyone's ever watched our other channel 3 years ago, but like it's like it can be fun sometimes. But the way they execute it here, except for one specific scene, it just looks weird. So it's like I'm gonna give you a chance. Pick a card, any card. Oh, you picked the Alucard. Tough to be you. Actually, no. You know what's even better analogy? Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 Bridge. Hey, Ushio, buddy, how's it hanging? Look at this. It's the Queen of Hearts. Do you know what that means? What does it mean? It means you lose. Off to the Shadow Realm you go.
Okay, I have the budget. Do you want to know how much this movie costs?
How much?
Apparently $13 million. So it costs less than the original film.
So it had half the budget of the original film. And
yeah.
it made back the budget of the original film.
Barely. You want to talk about box office failure? This is the definition of a box office freaking failure.
It's like, yeah, it made back a little less than double of its budget, but normally that doesn't mean the movie was successful. Even just breaking even is like, if a movie just breaks even, it's considered box office failure. And
Yeah.
and you're probably wondering, like even if it made $1 more than the budget, like doesn't that mean it made a $1 profit? Yeah, but here's the thing though. Don't just consider the budget. Think about the time and energy it took to make the film. If you're only gonna make back the same amount that you spent, why even make the movie in the first place? Like if you spent $23 million to get back $23 million, why spend that 23 million in the first place? Just hold on to that 23 million instead, and then maybe spend it on a better film. Now obviously this movie had 13 million budget, made back 10 million above breaking, but again, it's like you want to make more than double, because making double means it was a sure profit. But then when you go above that, it's like it was an outstanding success. Heck, even like the original Crow, it made back what, 4 times the original budget after breaking even. Like it made like 100 mil, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was that was a resounding success, because like you want to make more than double of your budget, and this movie made less than double. The fact that it even broke even is surprising. And again, good cast, terrible script. Like Jeeves. And yeah, no, we do get like one cute scene where he does sleight of hand in front of a girl, like a little girl that's on drugs. Which, by the way, inserts JoJo Part 5 reference, because main character tries to stop a drug cartel, becomes king of kings. But it's also kind of weird because like the main villain has like, he's like, oh, he has like a religious undertones to him, and he's a black dude. So Enrico Pucci, I will obtain heaven by drinking the blood of this crow. I'm like, it's like this is like the only thing this movie's good for is being fodder for JoJo references.
Unknowingly. But anyways, so he goes after Nemo, played by Thomas Jane. Now, I didn't even recognize Thomas Jane when I first started watching this movie again. I'm
Oh, because
like,
he's wearing a wig.
yeah, this is like early Thomas Jane. This is before Deep Blue. Not just Punisher. This is before Deep Blue Sea
Yeah.
Thomas Jane. Okay, so Thomas Jane goes to this peep show booth, or no, a nudie booth
Yeah.
for everyone. So
Funny
for
dude.
kids, so for our younger viewers who are Gen Zers, are like, hey, what's a nudie booth? Nudie booth is essentially you put in quarters like an arcade. It's like freaking arcade. You put like what, 5 or 6 quarters in, and you watch a female there
They're not
playing
quarters, they're tokens. Like, but
other
you have to
tokens.
spend a pretty penny to get a token. Like we're talking
At
like
least
maybe like
50,
like
50
like
to
maybe
100.
maybe like $25 or $50 per token. And like one token only gets you like 1 minute of screen time.
So Thomas Jane, being the addict that he is, apparently, that because they're talking, they like kind of show it because he's going back crap crazy when this one chick who looks cute to him, he's like, all you see him just thrashing like he's in a freaking mosh pit, and trying to get more tokens in so he can finish looking at the pretty lady.
Here's the thing I don't like not to like nitpick on the practicality of certain sequences, because again, this is a terrible film, and I know you're gonna call me out for even trying to nitpick on stuff like this, but like, why don't you just stack your tokens like right there next to the thing so you could access your tokens more
Stop,
easily?
Mike.
I know what you're gonna say.
Stop it.
I know what you're gonna say, and I addressed it before bringing it up. But again, right, if you're a halfway intelligent person, you'd think you would learn from that. That's all I'm saying. But again, we know like this is a Pope movie, so you know.
So he kills Nemo, and then proceeds to go. Funny enough, you're probably wondering, well, what is this? What is the bad guy doing? Judah is being told that there's this guy whose crew killed the year before or whatnot, coming back, and he has this medium who give him like information about him and stuff. That's not the point. It's so it's honestly a scene that comes and goes.
Yeah, and again, like Sybil seems like she could be an interesting character, but her role doesn't really amount to much.
Sybil was everything you were asking about the first movie, where there really wasn't any character that was diving more into supernatural, had supernatural ability.
Yeah, at most we had Micah. Sybil took Micah to the next level in a good direction and in a bad direction, where Micah actually contributed to the flow of the film. Sybil didn't really do much, to be honest.
Exactly.
And even though she had more power to do stuff.
We get a scene where I keep saying Alex. Ashe goes to the murder site where him and his son were killed. The little blonde 8-year-old kid, which makes me also wonder. Your kid is blonde and you have black hair, whatever.
Well, it's like this: if he has heterozygous hair genes and his mom is blonde, then there is a statistical probability their kid could be blonde. But it's very unlikely because brunette dominates over blonde. Let's just leave it at that. But you're right.
He goes to his by the way, we're not showing enough of these pictures, but he goes to the murder site, grabs his son, which I'm telling you right now, that was not his son. That was some dummy that they put like a blonde wig on. Gets his corpse out of the harbor, and we get the nice majestic music from the original movie, which this film does not earn any way, shape, or form. As he buries his son, takes his son's paint drawing that he drew of him and his father, and burns it.
Like Chekhov's gun.
Mm-hmm.
So like the drawing, it's supposed to be like him and his son under a blue sun. You'd think, because they put so much attention to, the sun is blue, what's up with that? You'd think that would come back in some kind of significant way.
Nah.
But it doesn't. Like, if this scene was just cut and pasted to like a random scene in All-Star Superman, then it would have been better utilized. Because at least All-Star Superman actually had a blue sun in some capacity. In the most literal in that case, but it's like if the term blue sun might have had any kind of significance in this movie in any way, like maybe it would be like a neon sign saying blue sun and he finds out something super important. Like, I would have still taken it. It would have been wasteful, but it would have still been utilized in a technically correct way.
Exactly.
But why bring up a concept if you're not going to use it later. This movie's giving me a headache. Oh, and we still did not address that one scene that irks me about Sarah.
Oh, go ahead.
So he's grieving that his son is dead, and Sarah's like trying to console him, but I think she's trying to console him a little too well.
Oh, when she tried to smash him?
Yeah, like that made me uncomfortable on several different levels. First one is the obvious one. He's a corpse. Necrophilia is a crime.
Hey, that didn't stop Wonder Woman.
Technically, it's a different crime than necrophilia, but we're not going to get into that. It's still a crime, what she did. But it's a completely different crime. Also a felony, but it's not necrophilia. But like, the issue is this dude has the same powers as your sort of dad. So that kind of made me uncomfortable. Like, can you imagine if Jim Gordon was the original Batman, takes care of Barbara Gordon, then Bruce Wayne becomes Batman afterwards, and then Barbara tries to smash Bruce after the fact?
Wait, stop.
That's basically how it feels. That's how uncomfortable I felt watching that scene. But on a much more important but on a much more important thing, yeah, like, are you seriously trying to give this dude an attachment to the world of the living when the whole point of being a crow is to let go of his attachments? Like, are you seriously getting in the way of the crow existing? You know,
there's a reason why I scoped over that scene. So anyone's like wondering why we have not really been addressing Sarah in this movie is because two things. Sarah doesn't really help the plot. She's just there. And like, yes, she gives information about the crow, how your soul is not at rest and you need to find justice and stuff. And like, obviously her tattoo parlor gets attacked by Judith's crew. But other than that,
yeah, because he made that crow tattoo onto Swerve's body.
Yeah, it like she doesn't have any. She's there's no relevancy to the plot of this film, other than the fact she was in the previous film. And it's no and this is no disrespect to the actress Mia Kirshner who played Sarah, because this chick's been in almost everything too. She was in 24. She was one of the leading characters in the L Word. She was in Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek New World. She was in Vampire Diaries. She was in now another teen movie with one of our other favorite actresses,
Serena Vincent, with Jamie Presley and Chris Evans.
Oh, you mean older Margot Robbie?
Or
you mean Margot Robbie's little big sister?
Like the real Tina Armstrong.
Oh my God. The real Tina Armstrong, yeah.
Yeah.
But she was also in the Black Dahlia, which is one of my favorite books. Now the movie itself, not that much, but still, like she gets work, and she's still acting to this day, and she is not aged. She's aged. Actually, no, she's aged pretty damn well since '96. Yeah. So good on you, Mia. Good on you.
Yeah, but again, it's like Erin in Salvation, played by Kirsten Dunst, before she was in Spider-Man, moved the plot along more than Sarah did in the sequel of a movie where Sarah moved the plot along. Let's get it straight. Aaron had no reason to exist in Salvation, but she actually did stuff in Salvation. Sarah had reason to exist in Crow, and she moved the plot along. Sarah had no reason to exist in City of Angels and didn't move the plot along. It's like, here we got the worst of two worlds. And that's saying something. Like, I don't know who the Sarah archetype is in Wicked Prayer, but goddamn, I hope with futility, based on how you describe it, that the Sarah archetype in that movie would be more useful. And it hurts because, like, again, Sarah actually got things done in the previous film. How is she, as a 13-year-old, more significant than as a 23-year-old? Like, you could have practically made a completely different character to be the human tether or the Sarah archetype, and it would have made no difference.
It really wouldn't have. You could have made a brand new character, but you had to freaking bring a legacy character back, which it really irks me. Anyways, so Judah gets a kid has someone kidnap Sarah, and then we get the famous fight that one of the two famous scenes from this movie, and that is our girl, rest in peace, Thuy Trang, fighting Ashe in his freaking apartment, and she tries to whoop his ass. Like, she uses everything in the kitchen sink to try to beat this dude. And like,
you know what's one of the most important things about this fight?
What?
She was the one that killed Nathan.
Yes.
See, like, her killing Nathan was a critical thing. Just like how in the previous film, getting the one dude who killed the guy who pulled the trigger on Shelly was like so critical. Like he even told Top Dollar, it's like I'm not here for you, Top Dollar. I'm here for him. Like, give it to me. I'll leave you alone. But then Top Dollar had to make the mistake of, oh yeah, you know who sent that dude to kill your girl? I did.
Me.
Oh, now I have motivation again.
I'm actually trying to find a scene where she actually killed the kid, but I can't find it.
Yeah, no, it's in one of those saturated flashback scenes where she sings, "A hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mom's gonna buy you a shiny toy." And this is where Ashe is like at his most unhinged. And when I say unhinged, I mean hammy as hell. He's like, she's like, do you fight? And he's like, do you die?
Do you die? Dude, I swear, the actor who played Alex, he must have watched so many Ashe. He must have watched so many. I can't call him Alex. Jesus Christ.
It's because of their last names. One is named Corven, the other is named Corvus. They're both words are similar sounding, and like it gets like really annoying. Obviously, I remember Alex Corvus better because, again, I've seen Salvation more times, and I've enjoyed Salvation more than City of Angels. And I swear, I partially hate the fact that I'm practically hyping up Salvation for you, because if you somehow end up hating that movie, you're going to blame it on me that I'm raising your expectations.
No, listen. We still have to do Wicked Prayer. So
I can't wait to discuss the 2024 Crow movie when it legally comes out in the United States and any review embargo is lifted. Like, we're gonna get right into it.
No, there's one thing I want to talk about when this movie is once we get to the end, we do the scores, because there's something that we completely glossed over, and that was actually fuck screw it. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna say it at the end. This movie had a video game. I'll leave it at that.
I wanted to bring that up. I'm glad you said it, not me.
Okay, this movie did have a video game, and we'll talk about the significance of that damn video game later on. But Ash goes after Curve next. It played by your boy Iggy Pop.
By the way,
Follows
can we
him.
talk
Go
about
ahead.
how like Kali's fight did not age well?
Oh no, it didn't. It was. Look, I've done fight scenes for our subscribe Morphin Network that are not all that good. But it's God compared to this freaking fight. And keep in mind, this is supposed to be one of the most memorable fights because again, our girl Thuy Trang, rest in peace, fought the Crow.
It's
And
like
because
this.
she
The
was the reason why her son
choreography.
is dead.
It's like the choreography to the Kali fight wasn't the worst. I would argue. Like, if we're gonna rank every fight scene in this entire movie, it would be like at the top, if not top 2. But the way Kali dies in this movie, in retrospect, it did not age very well. For reasons we don't want to really discuss. All I'm gonna say is, jeez, maybe there might be something to Sarah about being able to make those paintings. And that is the least couth I will be in regarding the subject matter. But with that in mind, Simon Bennett, if you're watching this, thank you for deleting that one scene that was mentioned in social media.
Oh God,
in a
yeah.
certain movie that came out last year.
I'm glad he didn't go with that. Oh, by the way, Thuy Trang died in this, and Thuy Trang's character died in this movie when Alex threw her, and Simon tossed her ass. Shouts to Black Geeks. Simon tossed her ass out the freaking window, and as she's dying on the ground, you just see a blood painting of the Crow right behind her, as if this is freaking Street Fighter, and Ash just pulled a raging demon on her ass.
Yeah. What really bothered me is that after she was thrown out, it's how she ended up on the ground after she was thrown out. That 2 seconds of footage did not age well. But yeah, Iggy Pop, Swerve, like they propped up Swerve big time, like down to the fact that like, oh, he's got a crow tattoo, he is marked. Swerve, you better get your butt together. You're supposed to be in charge of my foot soldiers. You need to take care of things, or I will take care of them for you. And like freaking Judah propped him up to be like such a big bad, like his number 2 guy. And he just dies like a punk in an underpass.
Watching your reaction. Listen, I hate this movie, but looking at your reactions to a lot of the bull crap that this movie told, and we haven't even gotten to the end, is hilarious to me. I'm just doing this up.
Like, if, like, you know how like making small changes in a movie could create a significant improvement, even if it won't salvage a movie, no pun intended, altogether. You know what's one tiny change they could have done to improve this movie? Just switch the order in which he kills Swerve and Kali. Like, I think this movie would be an iota more satisfying if he killed Swerve like a punk first and then kill Kali like a baller after.
Yeah, because Swerve, well, not his name, not Swerve, his name's Curve. Curve.
Oh,
No,
is it? Yeah,
no, you keep saying Swerve. It's actually Curve. It's okay though. I've been calling
okay.
Ashe
I mean, to
Alex,
be fair, yeah, Alex, because yeah.
but no. So they play chicken essentially. Curve is about to run Ashe over because again, Vincent Perez is hamming this thing up to the fifth degree. Then takes out a shotgun. And I'm gonna title it the Hong Kong shotgun because Hong Kong shotgun blew this fool away. Shoots his damn motorcycle. He flies, grabs his ass, throws him into the harbor, and just like how Curve left his calling card by putting a flower into the water, we see a crow like all the flowers. Ashe throws into the water. You want to know what made people? Do you really want to know what made T-Bird's death one most memorable? Is that T-Bird realized who this fool was, realized who Eric Draven was at that very moment, remembering that he and his entire gang are the reason why were the ones who killed Eric and Shelley, and then all of it coming back to him as he's about to, in the last 2 minutes of his life, before he is straight up murked. The reason and what made that so memorable when he's like, I knew it was you, but it can't be you. You killed you that night. It ain't no coming back. We like it's the real world, man. It ain't no coming back. Like, that was a memorable scene. This is like T-Bird was the big reason why everyone's that Eric and Shelley are dead. Kali and Curve are the big reasons why Ashe and his son are dead, but had mid-level death scenes. We haven't even gotten to the stupidest part of the movie, and I want to touch on this.
Let's wrap it up. Talk about that stupid part. And
Day of the Dead. Judah realizes that Ashe gets his powers from the crow. They manage to take the crow as Ashe finds out where Sarah is and starts to impale the crow. And in doing so, because Judah's whole idea is if I can take the blood from this crow, drink it, and take the exact same abilities that Ashe has, I will become immortal and I'll become invincible. So he kills the crow, drinks the blood, meaning, and if remember what Top Dollar said. After you kill the crow, the soul that the crow brought back dies with it. So the movie should have been over. We should have been hearing "Everybody Loves a Winner" at that very moment. No, not at all. And also, by the way, Judah uses the blood from the crow, and draws the little stuff that the crows have normally. Ashe is supposed to be dead. We literally watched this fool die because the crow was killed. And on top of that, he falls off a freaking building. This fool should be dead.
Mm-hmm. Especially if he's supposed to be mortal now.
But, especially since he's supposed to be mortal, because the moment he fell, he should have died. But nope. We're pulling off some anime bullshit. His son's soul is telling him to keep fighting. So Ashe goes Kaioken. We're not even going Super Saiyan. He goes Kaioken. Gets Sarah. Gets her out of the building. Fights Judah himself in the streets of L.A. Mind you, I had to look this up. This movie was filmed out in Los Angeles. It was on the studio. They used the studio and they filmed it outside too. Like the scene where they're driving through the bridge through Boyle Heights, that was real. They did not film this in Canada. Judah whoops his fool's ass. And lynching him at the same time. And it's going to hang him. And it's going to stab him. And in the process, Sarah sacrifices herself. And so Ashe pushes Judah into this metal pipe. And keep in mind, Judah has the abilities of the crow. He can't die. And then they pull the biggest WTF moment of the entire film. He calls upon a flock of crows. And all these, and keep in mind, Ashe no longer has the abilities of the crow. But he calls upon a murder of crows to kill and destroy Judah once again. We pull off anime bullshit at the end of the film.
I'm just dying here, because every crow movie has a scene where the crow low-key loses his powers and then gets them back with a little bit of, spiritual motivation, shall we say. Like, they need to, sometimes it's they lose their powers because, they believe that the person they're supposed to kill is dead. So it's I have no longer any reason to stay tethered. But then later when they find out the person's still around, I need to have my reason back. Or you had a kill list that ended. But guess what? I was supposed to be on a kill list and you forgot to add my name to it. Suddenly they get the crow powers back. There's always some kind of shall we say Faustian reason for them to lose and then regain their powers. But here it's they did little to nothing to explain how he got his powers back or even gain new ones. It's we say, all these other crows are carrying the souls of other people that were tragically killed by Judah. Okay, how come none of them turned into a crow? Imagine having an army of crows. And by crows, I mean superheroes, not actual birds. It's what? Somehow conveniently out of 1,000 birds, only Ashe was the only one who died with someone he loved and died with a terrible sadness that would require the crow to bring him back to life. Are you saying that this is statistically feasible?
I have one. There's only one thing that comes to mind.
And then he goes full Tsukiyomi from Naruto. It's all these crows are gonna torture you for 72 hours, and he goes through hours of torture. It's the remaining time for their Tsukiyomi is 71 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds.
All I have to say about this entire scene is this.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. And it's Judah still has semi-immortality, but he gains that freaking crow summoning technique when Sarah dies. But you know what's really weird? When Sarah died, you know what my reaction was?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Jerry.
It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I should be hurt or indifferent at the fact that I don't feel emotional burden from Sarah dying. That hurts me in that I should feel something bad when that adorable girl from the first movie is supposed to die. And yet I don't feel a twinge of lament that I think I'm supposed to have, and yet somehow I don't. I'm indifferent and angry all at the same time. But yeah, the movie ends basically like in a fizzling manner. It's like we see a flash of like he drives off in a motorcycle, and we see an image of him at a creek with his son, and roll end credits. We get a cover of Goldust Woman by Stevie Nicks. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done.
Okay.
I don't.
Let me before we get to our gradings, I want to talk about this damn video game real quick.
Oh, if you're going to talk about the video game, you may as well play it on your Twitch channel. And if you're going to play that on your Twitch channel, at least also play freaking Psycho Circus for PlayStation 1.
You kiss my ass. I will never play Crow City of Angels. Ever.
What's the
Hell no.
even like? I am curious.
You need to look at it for yourself. The only reason why I knew about the video game years before was AVGN reviewed the game. And the moment I found out we were going to be talking about this film, like, I have to talk about the video game. You think the movie's bad? The game is much is bad. Like I will like. There are certain bad video games that I will definitely play if people ask me. But I'm not. I will never ever touch that game with my hands with 10-foot pole. I'm not doing it. Hell no. But the game was made by
the game refers to Kali as the ninjutsu death bitch. Wow. That's actual quotation marks, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the actual quotation marks.
So the game was made. Funny enough, this was the last game made by the company Grey Matter Studios. Now, for those who don't know, Grey Matter Studios was a video game company back in the 80s and 90s. They had worked on several games. They had worked on Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin on Sega CD. They also worked on
Captain Planet and the Planeteers for NES.
They worked on the Terminator video game on Super Nintendo, Ren and Stimpy, Wayne's World, NHL All-Star Hockey, NBA Action, not a bad game. And then the last two games that they worked on were Perfect Weapon and the Crow City of Angels.
And the two are apparently supposed to have similar mechanics, apparently.
These guys are destined to die. They
made a Wayne's World game.
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy, Terminator.
I actually played funny enough, I actually played the Wayne's World video game. It's supposed to be a side scroller video game. It's not good. It really is. They to be fair, most video game movies movie game tie-ins are not good. This one's definitely not good.
They made Mad Max, Dirty Harry, James Bond Jr.
Jr.
WWF King of the Ring.
That game was bad. The game was. I played it. I remember it being okay. I can't be too mad about it, but yeah, like that was the only. From what I remember, WWF King of the Ring was the only good game outside NBA Action and NHL All Star. But anyways, so
I feel like I'm seething with like how much bad is surrounding this movie. And
this
hurts
movie was Thuy
again.
Trang's final movie. This was the final game Gray Matter made before this game destroyed that company.
Wait, I'm
movie.
curious about something real quick. I wanna check something really quickly.
Go ahead.
Before you add to anything on that list. Hold on. Let me see.
While you're doing that, we haven't even gotten to the fact that this movie. You mentioned it earlier that David S. Goyer was the screenplay writer for this movie, and for those of you who are like, "Well, who's David Goyer?" Let me tell y'all something. This man's filmography is amazing, in both a good and a bad way. This guy is responsible for making the screenplays for writing. He's best known for the writing screenplays of many well-known comic book characters. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the movie with David Hasselhoff. He worked on the Blade trilogy. He worked on the Batman Dark Knight trilogy. He worked on Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. Matter of fact, he directed Blade Trinity and The Unborn. He also worked on Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, a game that I'm currently playing and is one of my favorite games in the Call of Duty franchise. He also worked on oh god, you're gonna laugh at this. He was also the writer to Terminator Dark Fate and was the producer of the Hellraiser reboot remake that was on Hulu 2 years ago.
You mean the 10th one?
Yeah. Oh, not to mention, he also was a producer for Mission to Mars. He was also the executive producer of Ghost Rider. He was the Assassination Nation, Birth of a Nation. Oh, okay, I'm done. He was the executive producer to Birth of a Nation. And no, I'm not talking about the movie that talks about the KKK. I'm talking about the movie that talks about Nat Turner and Turner's Rebellion, which was one of the most triggering and unnecessary films we really needed. But I digress.
As interesting as the Turner Rebellion was.
I forgot a few other things. He worked on the Blade TV show.
There was a Blade TV show?
You don't remember the Blade TV show? Okay, so after Blade Trinity, there was a Blade TV show that came out that was supposed to be the sequel to Blade Trinity, but they couldn't get Wesley Snipes because Wesley Snipes was about to go to jail for taxes. They got the rapper Sticky Fingers to play Blade.
Ain't that a mother?
Also, the most recent thing this man has worked on, he worked on the Sandman TV show that's on Netflix. He wrote the episode Sleep of the Just.
Can we just... I'm done. I'm done. 6 out of 10. That's the most generous score I could give this movie, and only because Thuy and Iggy are in it.
You're too freaking nice. I'm giving this movie a 2. F this movie. You shat on the legacy. Yes, you shat on the legacy. Like, this movie's damn near one of the worst movies I ever watched. This movie shat on the legacy of the original Crow movie, and it is so bad and so forgettable that honestly, when you told me we were going to do the Crow series, I completely forgot the Angels even existed. That's how freaking bad this movie is. Now, I remember Wicked Prayer because Wicked Prayer was a fever dream. And Salvation, you keep telling me on and on and on and on and on and on about it. So I can't wait for that. But other than F this movie, and if anyone who defends this movie, I need y'all to tell me reasons why you think this movie's good.
I know, and look, I know you tell me that Wicked Prayer is worse than City of Angels, but I'm struggling to imagine how. Obviously, in 2 weeks, I'm going to find out.
Oh yeah, you're going to find out.
But
you're in for a treat.
But as creative as I am struggling to construct an imagination that could possibly be worse than this movie as a Crow film. Like, unless we get some of that Miramax theatrical cut of Halloween 6 into it and use the computer-generated imagery skills of Birdemic, I can't possibly imagine how Wicked Prayer could be worse than City of Angels. But I'll take your word for it for now. But I'm going to have to watch the film and find out. And also, Eddie Furlong, freaking Mr. Rock City himself. Which, by the way, we eventually should review Detroit Rock City, but not right now. Obviously, we're focusing on Crow. The only solace I get from finishing this review is, one, I will never have to watch City of Angels again, statistically. And I have the solace of knowing that the next movie won't be as terrible as this one. But in that same vein, I am concerned that once we finish Salvation, I'm going to have to watch Wicked Prayer and see if the horribleness lives up to the hype that you describe.
Let's get to the comments. While you, I'm gonna let you massage your head real quick. This movie is severely mid. See, again, mid is y'all are too freaking nice about this movie. This movie is freaking terrible. Sick that. Anyways,
remember, 7 is minimally passing.
I wanted to say that. I want you to. What was your score for Halloween 6 again?
It was 4.
Even that was too freaking nice. I wanted to be better, and very well could have. The villains were fun, but sadly underutilized. Yeah, Judah gave me Enrico Pucci vibes. He was Pucci. He definitely was Pucci from JoJo's. Our boy Cody. What's up, Cody? Thuy Trang was topless in this movie. I was confused. We all were. And
I mean, to be fair, she's wearing pasties.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's not the first time we've seen actresses in Power Rangers be a little more explicit, but no, I was confused.
Some more gratuitous than others.
Yeah. I love how you bring up annoying things from other media and explain how those annoying things are worse than this film. At last, I haven't seen Kavado this tortured since he reviewed Kamen Rider Revised. Okay, that's not true. He complained about Gotchard quite a bit. Yo, God bless me for getting through Revised. Alright, people, we're done. We gotta get out of here. It's late, and we still have 2 more Crow movies to review. Hopefully, all this hype you keep giving me for our next film, which is The Crow Salvation.
Which again, I'm not saying it's as good as the first movie, but it's definitely better than City of Angels, and I can't possibly imagine it being worse than Wicked Prayer. But no, it is a movie that features Kirsten Dunst pre-Spider-Man, so there's that.
Pre-Spider-Man, post-Small Soldiers.
Yeah. Wait, no. Let me be more generous. Post Bring It On.
Okay,
What
fine.
year,
Okay.
what year did that movie come out?
Bring It On came out in 2000.
Okay, so it came out the same year.
I remember because everyone was going full bonkers about Bring It On. Don't get me wrong, Bring It On's a good movie. The sequels, not so much.
Okay. The third movie was pretty good.
Was that Bring It On Fight to the Finish or In It to Win It?
It's the one with Hayden Panettiere.
Again, was it Fight to the Finish or In It to Win It? Because I don't remember.
Okay, the second one's called Bring It On Again. In It to Win It is the fourth one.
So Fight to the Finish is the third one.
Okay, hold on. Let me hold on. That should be listed. All or Nothing. It's All or Nothing. Fight to the Finish is the fifth one.
Okay.
And apparently there's a seventh one called Cheer or Die. First of all, why is there a seventh one?
Matter of fact, we need to do a Bring It On month. Cheer or
Are we
Die.
going to do all 7 movies if we did a Bring It On month?
I would be down. I would be down for it. I need to see how bad this is. I want to know how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Because remember, it's 7 movies.
Look, at some point, I want to review all 4 Lethal Weapon movies. Okay, so and Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3. Oh, especially Bad Boys 1, 2, 3.
I mean, we did do part 3.
Yes, we did. And it's time to
we wore the jackets. We purposefully sang Bad Boys incorrectly.
Yep.
And we talked about La Bruja.
You, the Bruja witch. Like, of all the things I told you, Marcus, that's what you're more confused on. Anyways,
right,
guys, thank you.
If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. And yeah, we're doing Crow Month. Next movie is Crow Salvation, the third of the 4 movies, soon to be 5, depending on when this year the 5th one comes out. And yeah, and then afterwards we're gonna have to finish things off with Wicked Prayer. I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm gonna have a drink while we do that review.
And yeah, check out our sister channel, the Morphin Network, where we discuss Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Ultraman, more Kamen Rider. The Monday, we're gonna be fully caught up with Ultraman Blazar just in time for Pasadena Comic Con because Johnny on Bosch is gonna be there, obviously. Yeah, and of course, if you guys happen to be in the Pasadena area on the 28th of January, be sure to say hi to us at the convention center because we will be there. And yeah, ding the bell icon on that channel to know when we do our shows on that channel. And if you want to check out our personal content, Leo, where can everyone find you?
Y'all people can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TheRex_Fox, Twitch.tv/Reckless Fox will come back soon. And Girl Travelers and I are working on a new TikTok channel, so I'll be on the lookout for that. And Scrub Club podcast will be returning officially this Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So right after whatever show is going on Morphin Network,
Watch
come back to the Buttery Show. Yeah, come back to the Buttery Show at 8:30 so we can do for the new episode of the Scrub Club podcast. And again, there hasn't been a lot of news going on in the video games because the year literally just started. So we're covering the Game Awards and we're covering on the unfortunate news that E3 is now gone. Also, games we're looking forward to this year.
All right. And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. Yes, as soon as I get my gaming rig get my gaming rig set up, I will get started on Twitch streaming sometime this month. Stay tuned. We're going to play some Mega Man, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And with that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And for those of you in the East Coast, we're sorry that it's 2 a.m. for you guys. But thank you for sticking around. Stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones. And hope you have a very restful Martin Luther King Day. And if you're working on MLK Day, I hope that your work shift will be smooth running and you be able to get home to your families as quickly as you possibly could. Until next time, peace out. Have a good one. Bye.
Deuces.